As you mentioned, the Warriors are red hot. And tonight, though, they play in what might be their closest thing to their house of horrors. And for the sixth consecutive time, the Warriors will play here in San Antonio on the second night of a back-to-back.
It did not take that game for San Antonio to get on my radar. So you know exactly what the challenge is. Ready to go.
We were exhausted. We had a brutal schedule, and we lost KD, and guys were playing extra minutes, and we were spent, and I could feel that. Our staff could feel that, and it made sense to rest them. I don't like to do it, but I'm trying to get us ready for the playoffs.
We talk about a lot. This is a unique team, so we talk about a lot of things, but it doesn't seem like that's on accident.
Draymond, what do you mean by it's not on accident?
It's just not on accident. That just don't happen. So, I don't know. But just gotta go in there and try to get a win. Everybody plays back-to-backs in the NBA. And then also you gotta look at the TV schedule. That's always a primetime game. So, that happens also, when you look at that from that perspective.
Hashtag Draymond being Draymond. Loving to stir the pot. The man who has gotten more access to Draymond and given us great insight on the undefeated is Mark Spears, joining us here live in San Antonio. Mark, you were there when Draymond made those comments last night. It's not on accident that they're playing for a sixth consecutive time on the second night of a back-to-back. Does he really think the league schedule makers are out to get him?
Of course he does, man. Really good players, all-stars in this league. They always try to give themselves an extra something to give them an extra push. That's what Michael Jordan lived off in a lot of ways, is finding something to give him an extra push. So, yeah, certainly you got to be upset. I mean, I guess if there's a silver lining, it could have been worse. It could have been from Minnesota like last time,
right?
From the second of back-to-back. But, short flight. I think they'll be fine. I think they'll be excited. But then you get a day off and you get Houston. So, schedule makers have been a little tough on the late.
Draymond, as I mentioned, given you tremendous access. You've done diaries with him. What you've done on him in the undefeated is really get to know the person and how much more beyond basketball there is to him. But as we inch closer and closer to the playoffs, we harken back to last finals when he got suspended for a game. Is that guy who lost his temper so many times, where the league limit got passed in terms of flagrant fouls where he had to be suspended, is that guy still there? Should the Warriors still be concerned about that?
He's going to stay emotional. He's going to stay day-day. That's not going to change. You can't. The Warriors don't want that to change, but I think he has reined it in. He definitely knows the detriment of what being boisterous can be. I mean, he lost playing in a Game 6. I mean, a Game 5. He can never get that back.
Right.
That, in a lot of ways, altered what happened in the finals. So I definitely think he's going to be thinking about that the rest of his life, not only just this season when the playoffs come. So, but he's going to be him. He's not apologetic of that, as you can see. And maybe the refs are getting used to it a little bit, but I think that's what drives him, makes him special, is the fact that he's just relentless and he's never going to stop.
Draymond's made no bones about it. He wants to win Defensive Player of the Year.
You vote for him?
Well, I don't have a vote, of course. Only Matt Weiner in our studio gets votes for postseason awards. Well, yeah, but he's not in the studio tonight.
Okay.
We're going to see the two-time defending Defensive Player of the Year on the court tonight. What
Really
do you
good.
think that fuel for Draymond, that battle with Kawhi, what do you expect to see out of Kawhi tonight? With they don't think about awards here in San Antonio, but come on, they're human.
Well, two extremely different personalities. I actually
Okay,
had a story on Kawhi last week about how he's actually involved in a documentary on Earl Lloyd, the first black NBA player. And do you know anything else about him? That's about it.
Right.
And he likes it that way. He's totally different from Draymond. But, I think right now for Kawhi, there's bigger sights. There's MVP. And if the Spurs can jump ahead of the Warriors, perhaps he jumps ahead in the MVP race. I think talk about Kawhi is getting stronger and stronger. As far as Defensive Player of the Year, that one's, to me, like the hardest one to vote for. But I do think that right now Draymond's making a strong case for himself.
We heard earlier today that the Warriors hope to get Kevin Durant back before the playoffs.
Yeah.
They'll reevaluate him in the next 7 to 10 days. And while the Warriors, just like they did last year, lead the league in assists per game, they also, when Durant is not playing, pass the ball more. So even though they're getting more assists per game this year than last year, there's ball movement. What do you think happens once Durant comes back in?
Let's just,
yeah, right.
just leave it alone.
No,
Let
no,
him watch.
I don't think there's any question about that, but it is a stylistic question on how they play.
Well, I think now this time I think he's going to have to adapt more. He's gotten a chance to sit and watch and watch more than he's done before in his career of this team. So I think maybe he's seeing how maybe he could fit differently than he did before. It could be perhaps even a blessing disguised in this way, because when a team is rolling like they're rolling without you, you can't help but think about it. Wow, 7 in a row and I'm not even there. If they win tonight without him, that's pretty huge. But trust me, Steve Kerr and the rest of these guys want him back. I'm looking forward to see how he's incorporated, and I do expect him back before the end of the regular season.